What makes Masha performing all by myself awesome? Hi, I'm Dr. Marc, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. I'm excited to check this out. I had a viewer recommend it, and so excited to see what makes so many people love this. Let's see what's going on.
When I was young,
oh, what a song.
Never needed anyone. Making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. Even alone, I think of all the friends I've known. When I died a telephone, nobody's home.
Okay, so something that's really interesting here, and that's come up a lot this week as I've been working with different people in voice lessons and stuff like that, is that you'll notice here when she's singing an ah sound, how wide her mouth is. So if you can imagine that in ah should be about 2 fingers width wide. Ah, that's a lot of space. Try it. Sing an ah vowel and check with your fingers and see if you're making it that wide in front. All the other vowels are less than that, but usually if we'll sing that ah with that much space, the rest of the vowels will come along a lot more easily and they'll be able to open and release too. What a lot of people find is that with everyday stresses and tension and everything else, it can be really hard to get this jaw to just open and release. So try it. Try massaging around this jaw muscles. Really just take your time pressing in here and opening your mouth. And really getting it so it can release and give us that much space. We don't necessarily want it super wide in that it locks into place and it closes us down and back, but the 2 fingers wide is about the width we need for the voice to be most efficient on an ah vowel. You'll also notice that she's giving us a lot of space on accented vowels or accented syllables. And then she's a lot more relaxed on the unaccented syllables. This is a great way of starting to think about how to shape our text. Meaning we don't want it to be all the same dynamic level, right? That's almost equivalent to monotone. Even if the pitch is changing here, the same dynamic level makes it feel relatively flat emotionally. So instead of thinking loud, it means we work harder and push harder. If you think loud means more open and that quieter means a little more relaxed from that open space, you're going to find that you're able to get louder sounds, more dynamic contrast without more effort and push and strain here, which is always really helpful and handy. So what I'm loving about what I'm seeing this is we're getting this nice, warm, rich, open sound that's super consistent, but still expressive because she's allowing for these things to happen. Love it.
All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself.
By myself. Love that shot that we saw there of her tongue, right? Forward, flat, floppy. Tongue's against the front teeth, against the side ones, even though we're saying the word more, right? Say the word more. Notice how much the tongue wants to pull back and curl up and do weird stuff. She's singing mar, right? We still hear more, but that's getting the sound that we want for this pop moment, right? Love it. Cool. Visually, what are we seeing here? When you're watching here, where do our eyes focus? For me, they focus on her face, right? And she made a really smart costume choice. One of the smart costume choices that she made that keeps our eyes centered around her face is that you'll notice she's wearing this coat. The lines of the coat make a V. The V acts as like an arrow. It points our eyes down away from the face. But you'll notice that shirt underneath rounds that arrow and turns that visually into a circle. And a circle is great because what it does is our eyes can travel, but it's going to ultimately bring our eyes back up and around that circle, and our face is going to want to go to the center of that circle. And you'll notice her eyes and mouth kind of live at the top third of that circle, which is really cool because, again, aesthetically, if we're thinking the rule of thirds, we want kind of her mouth, eyes, face, usually eyes, but her eyes would be at the very top of that. But that whole face section is kind of in the upper third of that, which works great aesthetically. It makes it read really, really well. So she made a really smart choice there in allowing us visually, just in terms of shapes and where our eyes go visually, in terms of where they're directed, both aesthetically and in terms of line towards her face, which is brilliant. Vocally, what we're hearing just a great voice. It sounds consistent all the way up. Sounds really pretty comfortable, pretty easy. She's getting a lot of sound because she's just staying open, letting this resonant space do the work for her, not the muscle work behind it, right? Which is really cool. Is there a little bit of compression underneath, a little bit of pressure underneath? I would probably guess so. I'm hearing a little bit, especially at the end there at the top. But my guess, if we were to talk to her, she'd say it probably feels relatively comfortable, sustainable, and maybe if we worked, we'd be able to get a little bit more comfortable and easy. But would we lose some of the emotional power behind it? Maybe. I don't know. Be interesting to explore with and figure out. One of the things that you'll hear as you're listening to reaction videos like mine is you'll hear us voice teachers kind of brainstorm and think out loud about, well, what if we did this? Or if we changed this, what would happen? This is part of the artistic process. It's not always that there's a right or wrong, or that there's a better way or a worse way to do something. But we always want to be searching to see, could we eke a little more out? Could we get this in a different way? Could we get something different out of this? Because by staying in that creative, exploratory mindset, we leave ourselves open to improvement and change, even if it's awesome. And even as an audience, we don't want any change. It's perfect how it is. As an artist and as a teacher, it's important to always being looking forward to not necessarily changes to make things better, but changes for variety or interest, or to keep ourselves engaged as an artist. So if that helps as you're listening to different critics and teachers and reactors react and think, rather than, oh, they're bashing my favorite singer or something like that, think, that'd be interesting. And maybe she's even talked about it some at different points about what it feels like to her, how she sings. There's some really cool videos out there of singers talking about how they think about singing. So, short story, awesome. Loved it. I think she's really compelling, both visually and with what we're hearing. And it was obviously really exciting and really thrilling to the audience as well, because they loved it. A lot of people are watching this. So as always, we're watching these people that a lot of people are drawn to. And it's not just because they're on a huge network. That helps, don't get me wrong. But a part of it is that there's something that is so thrilling about it. And we want to figure out what it is that makes that awesome so we can take it. Hopefully you got some things today that gave you ideas of how to make your performance even more thrilling and exciting, comfortable, sustainable, organic, natural, any of those things. Let me help you find your voice, whether it's as a singer to help you sing more confidently, more consistently, with more variety and expression, or as a performer so you feel more confident, natural, communicative, expressive, and free to be yourself. Book a lesson with me at foundyourvoice.com. You can also find me at wizio.com if you want to send me a shorter video or audio clip. I look forward to either seeing you again back here on the channel or to meeting and working with you online. See you next time.